adds new videos. My social media will be tagged down below so you can follow it. And just remember, Jesus loves you.
Hi guys, just to let you know, we've got a brand new website, drcharlieward.com, where all our videos will be loaded over the next few weeks, and you'll be able to view all of those there's no charge for watching any of those. We've moved them all onto our own platform because all the doctor ones, which are very, very important, have been taken down, so we've now got control over those, but every single video we post will be free to watch. That's very important for you to know. The other thing is we're getting an awful lot of people asking us about gold and silver. And I've always been an advocate of gold and silver. And myself, I'm not in a position to give financial advice. I'm not qualified to do so. I'm just going to tell you what I've personally done. I've personally bought gold and silver, and I've used a company that I trust, which is shown below here. They've always looked after me well. And if you order from them more than £250 worth, you get a free 1 ounce silver coin, which is very, very nice. It's a nice little gift. But this is not an endorsement. This is just what I have done personally, and it's up to you. It's your choice. As I said, I'm not qualified to give the advice, financial advice, but it's just what I have done personally. And I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you enjoy watching all of my videos. Thank you.
There's so many life lessons from what we're going through now, aren't there, in terms of, are you all in? And what we're seeing is there's so many people, for their various reasons, where they haven't fully committed to the plan, whether it's through lack of information, whether it's through fear or whatever. And, if you're giving up alcohol or cigarettes or coffee or any sort of addiction,
yeah,
until you've made that 100% commitment, you're not going to be able to do it, are you?
No, exactly right. There was a lot of people picked up on my interview last night with Simon Parkes and David Nino Rodriguez and Tiana Islam, where I mentioned the fact that I'd received the inauguration speech at 7 o'clock in the morning European time, which is 1 a.m. in the morning in American time.
Yeah.
That just on its own makes the inauguration completely illegal.
Yeah.
Because in the Constitution it has to happen at 1 minute past 12. And they couldn't even get that right because they got the timing wrong, because somebody was watching at 1 minute past 12 and it had already happened 4 minutes earlier. So they couldn't even get it out on time. And the fact that all the mainstream media were blatantly lying at the fact that they were saying it was live, there's so many other pointers. The Bible upside down is a satanic symbol. There's so many things that were going on that if your eyes are opened, you saw everything, and you just sat back and went, really? And then whoever, when the president is driving down to the White House, how often have you ever seen the military turn their back on it?
I saw that, and I think that was just lifted my heart so much. And I think the thing is you particularly, because you've got so much inside information, people like me who are spending a huge amount of time doing the research that we can without those inside sources, and coming to people like you and Simon Parkes and other people who have got that intel. But coming back to sort of what we learn about it, at the end of the day, I think people are learning so much about themselves here, because all the projection that people have got about, well, it's your job to tell me, it's your job to do this, and actually it's each of us as individuals' job, as you said right from the start, to go inside and tune in with what our intuition is. And we can look for all this external sources of information, and that's lovely to back it up, but we shouldn't be reliant on it, should we?
No, not at all. And I've had a few people in the chat groups who've said, right, forget about your conspiracy theories, let's get back to normal. And I was like, exactly what do you think is normal?
Yeah.
When I was just connecting with you just now, Dave Mahoney was saying to me, that's who I was talking to, they've just removed all of my Facebook in the middle of the night and everything to do with it. And the world that the deep state and the cabal are trying to force on us is complete and utter control. And this is just, all this is trying to do is wake people up
Yeah.
to the truth. People forget that the USA is still under military rule. And you've got two military leaders there that are in control.
Yeah.
The mainstream media are playing out this role that Biden's in charge and he's the president and everything else, which is a complete and utter lie. There is no truth in that. This is being put out by the media. And a lot of us were expecting the emergency broadcast yesterday, but it seems to me Donald Trump is prepared to sit. Well, not he's no longer in control. It's the military, and the military are the people that are now in control. So they can't point the finger at Donald Trump anymore and go, "Oh, it's just a grudge." It's not him that's in control. It's the military who are there to protect the people and to protect the Constitution. And at the moment, the people that are claiming power are not abiding by the Constitution. They've tried to steal the election. There's nobody in the world that I've met yet, not one person, that doesn't agree with me that the election has been stolen. Now, do you honestly think that the US military, forget Donald Trump, the US military, who are there to protect the Constitution, will allow this to happen? I don't think they will.
No, I mean, unfortunately, I've met a lot of people who don't think both friends in America who've got family members and a lot of people over here. But I think the interesting thing is like you said, all the signs are there. I mean, personally, I just think it's absolutely bloody brilliant, the plan, because this shows how they've taken the ego out of it and done it for the good of the greater good of the people. Because, you know, the easy way would have been for Donald Trump to have gone in there and, you know, thrown his teddies out of the pram and said, look, it's not fair. But he's done it so well and so meticulously planned. And the military brains, I mean, are just phenomenal. But I think, you know, there's so many people, and this is a problem of culture in general, where they just do not understand the implications of what they think the new normal is. They honestly think that they're going back to their normal lives, and they're not. We're never going to let any of us go back to our normal lives. And what they don't even realise, which is so sad, is just how controlled they've been up until this point anyway, with the information they've been fed, the lies we've been told for years and years. It's quite fascinating to watch, really. People, their complete lack of awareness, because the deep state and the corrupt media, unfortunately, up until this point, have done their job rather too well.
They have, and Donald Trump, for all those people that dislike him, he's managed his self-control better than anybody could have ever imagined. I'm sure he would have absolutely loved to have pointed at Biden and went, "You're fired."
Yes.
But he's allowed the military to uphold the Constitution, and he will have had to bite his tongue, because the military know the way to drain the swamp in a professional manner. He will have understood exactly what he's had to do, because when you looked at him when he was leaving on Air Force One, and just that in itself, he left in Air Force One. Also, just remember that Biden was not offered military or government aircraft. He had to charter his own private jet for the inauguration. That in itself should be a big wake-up call to anybody that knows what's going on. He was not offered by the United States military any form of transportation to his own inauguration. His inauguration was done at the wrong time. It was staged. It was not done in a certified place. There were so many signs there that were wrong. And yet the people who watch the television go, "No, I saw it." Well, I've now got a group of people that are trying to get the timestamp exactly on when I received that video. It's 7 o'clock in the morning Spanish time. I shared it with my team at 7 o'clock. So I've got my own WhatsApp stamps of when I sent it. with Lee Hemington and
Yeah.
and the group of people. But it was a long time before it was technically put out. And even when it was technically put out, it was put out at the wrong time.
Yeah. I mean, that's absolutely brilliant. And I heard some people who were in the Washington area saying that the weather was completely wrong as well. That the weather that they actually had yesterday in Washington and the weather that was shown on the inauguration day didn't match at all.
No, you know, these are all things that should wake people up. But for some reason, people are so badly programmed by mainstream media. They believe everything. So this is all part of the process. Now we've moved away from the fact of pointing at Donald Trump and saying, "Oh, he's just bitter and twisted."
Yeah.
Now it's down to the military. The US is under military rule, so even the inauguration would be technically illegal. It goes against the Constitution. With regard to the White House is part of DC. The fence that's around there marks the area of DC, which is actually a foreign territory because it is the District of Columbia. It's not part of the United States.
Yeah.
So what is going on in there is foreign interference in the American system. And they've got it in their front door. That's why they've got 32,000 troops there at the moment, where they're going to keep 6,000 there for 1 month. So if we read between the lines, because we are in a war, so they're not going to tell us what's going on. This is a war. They're not going to tell us. We're going to have to work it out for ourselves. That things will happen over the next 30 days.
Yeah. And we need to let them do it, don't we? Because it would be so ridiculous. I mean, this is what I find quite surprising when everyone's sort of saying, well, you told us this, you told us that. I mean, seriously, do they honestly think that they're going to release all their inner plans to the general public? I mean, it would be ridiculous. They'd lose straight away.
That's right. Also, you know, I've noticed that Biden's been issuing all these executive orders. With this again is to wake people up. Has he got to issue an executive order to say you can shag children up the arse before people wake up to the fact he's full of shit?
Exactly.
I mean, how far has he got to go? How far has he got to go before you wake up and go, hang on a sec, this is not right? Because some of the executive orders are just completely ludicrous right now. And the demands of Black Lives Matter and Antifa are just absolutely mental. And but people are going, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Really? Really? I mean, it's now becoming laughable. And for people that don't wake up, you are becoming a real embarrassment now because you're not seeing things for what they are. You've got no moral compass. You're so out of sync. You can't see the truth when it smacks you in the face.
I think this is the issue. I mean, I've heard loads of people sort of saying about, you know, well, not everyone's got time to do their research, but just take what's happening in the UK at the moment. In the UK, things have escalated really, really badly. I've got a couple of friends in London that were messaging me last night saying there were police cars all over the place, that they're enforcing, the police and shops are 100% enforcing masks now in a lot of places, even when there's no medical when someone's got a medical exemption. So things have got really, really bad, and still, and I've had a couple of conversations with elderly relatives and things where everyone's still believing this new strain is killing people and they're dropping like flies, and of course now it's all being spread by the children. But they've been so used to being programmed. I mean, every celebrity that we followed for years is a complete sham.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what we've seen. So we're so ingrained right up through the generations, actually. We're so ingrained as a society to have false idols. People just have lost all sense of intuition about who's good and who's bad. I mean, they really have, haven't they?
Totally. The other thing that's very interesting, that even with all the chaos yesterday, I still felt incredibly calm, and I still feel calm. I still feel very, very relaxed. There's bumps in the road that are there. There's a very interesting video that's been put out by X22.
I saw that. I listened to that.
Dave's very, very much in touch with what's going on, understands the legal structure in America.
Yeah.
So for people that want to watch that, he's really got a grip on it. I think it's on rumble.com.
Yeah, I listened to that really early this morning. It's absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
He lays it out very, very clearly. But people just forget about facts that the US is under military rule right now. That hasn't changed. The executive orders that Trump's put in power are empowering these generals who are in charge. And the fact that Biden is issuing executive orders, they're all complete and utter rubbish because he doesn't have the authority.
I mean, I watched the inauguration yesterday, and I felt amazing watching it, because if I was writing a setup script this is as ludicrous as it could get, that's what yesterday was. I mean, it was just completely ridiculous with, even with Lady Gaga and Beyonce there. I didn't know the country and Western Synod. When you looked at the audience, you looked at how nervous they all were, you picked up on the general energy of it. I looked at that, and that gave me more confidence almost than anything that everything was under control. But Charlie, do you think most Americans realise that they're under military control at the moment?
No, they don't. No idea at all. Because they're not doing their research, they're just turning on the television.
Yeah. And
this is the problem. And I was asked yesterday, it was very interesting, what made me investigate? Why didn't you believe the television? And I said, because if it looks like shit and smells like shit, it's probably shit.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And they go, well, what is it that looks like shit? I said, well, there's so much that just doesn't add up. There's so much that doesn't make sense. I said, on top of that, I was told that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
I was told that this is all a cover-up for a global financial reset. I was completely unaware that there was two resets in play, the New World Order and the one that Trump is introducing. I was completely unaware of that. And I've had to learn that. And I've done well over 5,000 hours of research. And when I talk to people, for example, on the side of the virus and the vaccine, I've spoken to over 100 doctors, biologists, scientists, etc., who are all on the same page that it's a complete and utter sham. And then the other thing, of course, in the UK that everyone's telling me today is, why are the military in every single hospital? Why?
So
in the UK?
People realise that. I don't think people realise that, because most members of the public are not being allowed into hospital. I mean, I've got a relative that's got some quite serious health conditions going on, and every single appointment for like the last 9 months is being done over a telephone call. Well, you can't examine someone over a telephone call. It's disgraceful. So they're keeping everyone away. But this compliance is what really pisses me off more than anything else, is the fact that if there were a few more of us that stuck up for it, they wouldn't have got this far. But most people just bow over so easily. And I think you say last night with, David Rodriguez and things, I've been thinking, who would I want him next to me in the trenches? And it's very few, because most people are just so easy to give up. They'd hand you over to the Germans straight away.
They'd probably point you out.
Yeah, completely. Isn't it shocking?
It is, but it's a wonderful time, and I've watched it many times, the Donald Trump video with Charlie Rose, where he purposely told all his friends he was bankrupt, he was out of money.
Yeah.
Just to see who stood by him, and he was shocked to see who stood by him. He was shocked to see who deserted him. And I think he'll be 10 times more shocked right now to see who's deserted him and who stood by him. It's very interesting how close Pompeo is to him.
Yeah.
How close General Flynn is to him. These are people of honour, and we will see the benefit of that play out in the future. At the moment, with everybody, they just need to remain calm
Yeah.
and understand that what's going on is pantomime.
Mm.
Dave Mahoney's trying to find the timestamp, and I can actually speak to the person who uploaded it, because I might be able to get it directly from them.
Yeah.
Of what time they uploaded it, because if I got it at 7 o'clock in the morning, it was uploaded before then.
Yes, exactly, and we all know it can take quite a while to
Sure.
do.
So that'll be my challenge for this morning,
Yeah.
because that becomes a very valuable piece against the corruption, the evil, the lies of the mainstream media. And whilst they think they've got power, they are really going flat out, because they've been on the back foot a bit with Trump. But now Trump's out of the way, they're going to be all guns blazing for people like myself and Dave and many others. Sasha Stone, another one, that they'll go out attacking Simon Parks.
Yeah.
They'll attack these people, desperate to shut us up. But no, at the moment there's no chance of me giving up, because I know so much more than I can say. But and I didn't expect to come across this bumpy road. Although somebody did say to me, "Don't expect it to pan out like you thought it would," and I went, "Okay." And I thought I knew better, but yesterday I learned that I just have to accept that the way that they're doing it is the best for the end result, to make sure that the entire swamp is drained.
I think that's so important, and I've been sort of trying to look at this the whole journey through. I mean, I don't know a fraction of what you know, but I've never been so certain about anything in my life, and it's just been fantastic, I think, for a lot of us, because it's really strengthened our intuitive skills. It's really shown us what's important and who's important in our lives, but also all the emotion coming out of everyone. I mean, there's a great saying by Wayne Dyer that, if you squeeze an orange juice is going to come out. Whoever's squeezing that orange, it doesn't matter who's squeezing it, you're still going to get orange juice outside, because that's what's inside the orange. And what people are realising at this time is all these pent-up emotions for years and years and years are coming out full pelt, and people often direct those in the wrong areas because they haven't got the skills to accept that they're their emotions that they need to deal with. And like we've said right from the start, the lessons that everyone's learning through this are what's needed, because once this is sorted, we can't go back to behaving how we did before. We just can't. It's got to be a change in values, a change in lifestyle, a change in personal responsibility, because look how much most people don't know about what's going on in their own community, let alone globally.
Sure. It'll be very interesting to see when and if the emergency broadcast takes place. But at the moment, Trump is waiting to see. He knows he's got all the aces still in his hand.
Yeah.
And he'll be talking to the military, and the military will be talking to him.
Yeah.
Because the people in the military who by the way have actually planned this. This has all been very carefully thought through and planned. This is not just off the cuff. This is all planned for every eventuality. And there have been some things that came up that nobody expected, but they've managed those incredibly well. So we're going through a fascinating time. And when you're awake and aware of what's going on, it's great to sit back and watch. But there's a lot of people now who will drop out because they feel they've lost. And they're absolutely right. They have lost. They've lost out because they're not going to see the finish line. They're not going to see it happen because they've given up. And that's not what patriotism is about. And that's not what sincerity is about. And truth is about. Truth knows no bounds.
Completely. And whether it's to a family member or to a friend or to a cause, no one wants people on their sides that they're going to give up at the first, second or third obstacle. That's no good to anyone. And quite frankly, that's not what life's about either. Everyone gets these curveballs thrown at them. And it's what you do when things go so much, you know, on face value, not according to plan, or not according to their plan. But it's never been our plan. It's never been our plan to own. It's the military's plan and Trump's plan. And thank God they're doing it, you know, in the calm, controlled way that they are. Because how lucky are most of us? I know a lot of people are suffering badly, but we're not in the trenches having to fight.
Correct.
People are grateful for that.
Exactly. I was speaking to a good friend of mine, Laura Aberley, she was saying, I'm reading your book. She said, boy, you've been whacked down in your life and got up and fought again, haven't you? And I said, yeah, this has stood me in good stead. You know, I've been whacked down so many times in my life. There's been so many things that would have been very easy to give up and blame everybody else. But I made the decision that I wanted to be a fighter.
Yeah.
I wanted to get up and fight and survive. And there was no way I was going to be beaten down by obstacles in my life. I was going to make sure that I got through my life and I was proud at the end of it. And that's always been what's driven me to do the best that I can possibly do. And I say as a joke, the only time I ever accept coming second is in bed, and that makes me a hero.
Yeah, exactly. Good one.
Yeah.
No, it's wonderful, and you know, we've got another interesting month to come, and it is a time for us all to sit back and concentrate on ourselves, keep ourselves informed so we can make the right decision. I do get some of the panic because I think all of us, for example, know people that are queuing up to take the vaccine, and we're all desperate to stop them, and that's hard. But I'm equally realising it takes me a while, but you know that actually I can't stop them.
You can't. The only thing you can do is suggest they look into it before they have it done. My wife is one of those people that won't put anything into her body, antibiotic, medicine, anything at all. She's always, because she was a gymnast. 10 years professional for her country, 10 years in the circus.
Amazing.
And she's very, you know, she eats like a rabbit. Everything's green, bless her. She looks after her body. Exactly. And her body looks after her.
Yeah.
And she's incredibly healthy. She's not big by any sense. She's only 50 kilos, and I'm double that. But she's always been careful what she eats and what she drinks and what she puts into her body. Nowadays, people are willing to take any tablets from the doctor without checking them, because they trust them. And they're willing to take any vaccination without checking what's in the vaccination, because they believe the rhetoric, they believe that what they've been told, without being told. And I think you and I play an important part in this, because in the old days, the only people that were telling people to check it were the hippie types.
Yeah.
People go, oh, they're just, you know, they're like swampy, you know, from the old days. It needs people like you and I to put out a serious message there and say, look, it's your life, it's your choice, but do some research before you start putting poison into your body. And it's a bit like cocaine and heroin. They become addictive if you keep taking these things. You'll need another one next year. Then suddenly it's, you know, if you understood the metabolism of your body, 99.9% of the time, your body has an immune system to fight all these things.
Yeah.
And the minute you start taking these vaccinations, you're breaking down your immune system. You're destroying it. You don't need to do that. You can build it up with supplements, vitamins, and stuff like that. But no, that's no good to the big pharma. That's absolutely no good at all. They make money out of giving you injections and tablets. I mean,
and for the side effects of the ones they've originally given, vicious circle. I mean, it's a bit like when you're decorating a room. How good the room is going to look at the end is 99% down to the preparation.
Of course it is.
It's the actual put in the final. And I think what people have forgotten, or it's easier for them to pretend they haven't, is it is all of our choices. So we all have a choice. And when we're going into battle and at times of stress, that's where how good your long-term preparation shows. So your wife, because she's got such amazing eating habits, and the discipline. I mean, you don't get to be a top level gymnast without the most amazing drive and discipline, because it's a painful thing to do for your body. But when you're that driven and passionate about something, and now, I mean, I listened to a really good talk by someone the other day, and when everything's all cumulative, so when you're giving your body the right water, the right nutrients, when you're surrounding yourself with people who are energetically able to lift you and you can lift each other up, so it's a two-way thing, this is when you get resilience built in, isn't it? But if you're keeping yourself crap, if you're abusing your mind and your body, if you're surrounding yourself with people who are in constant drama, you can't perform when you need to.
No, the other thing that we've learnt on this journey through research, talking to doctors, nurses, biologists, scientists, that things like polio, AIDS, cancer, different fevers have been created, have been man-made to make money for Big Pharma. And you go, what, AIDS? Yeah, this was the plan of the deep state, to eradicate homosexuals. This was their plan. And suddenly the gay people are going, oh, no, I like Biden, he's a good man, I hate Trump. But hang on a second. Step back and look at the facts.
Yeah.
The deep state tried to eradicate gay people, homosexuals. That's why AIDS was created. If you do some proper research and find out what these people are up to, you won't be so quick to jump onto the bandwagon of the mainstream media. You need to do some proper research rather than, I'll change my research from BBC to ITV to Channel 4.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm so motivated by, Charlie, though? Is like, during this journey, I just made the best friends or people have really stepped up to the mark. And, you know, there's people from every generation. I love the fact that you have just shown everyone what's achievable. Yes, you've got inside information. Yes, you were taught some stuff, but you've had to put in so much leg pan if you've wanted to do it, because you can see the reason for it. And then yesterday I was speaking to the most amazing 13-year-old young lad. In fact, he'd be a brilliant one for you to speak to. And he literally has completely off his own back researched all of this. Started from him listening to David Icke on London Real right at the start when it all got banned. And he had that spark of fire in him, and the amount of research that he's done. He's 13 years old. It's incredible. And there's so many examples all the way through from all different people. You know, some people are more specialist in the financial side of things. Some people like X22 are bloody brilliant at the legal side of things. Some people more at the spiritual. But what's been brilliant is seeing how you've already said how all the bits of the jigsaw puzzle are coming together, and that we don't all need to be experts in all of this. But if you're willing to share your little bit, then, you know, together we're all much stronger, aren't we?
Very, very much so. There's a lot of young people that are getting this.
Yeah.
Because of the fact they're not contaminated. And, you know, the BBC and CNN and all these news stations are forgetting the fact that their days are already over, because kids don't watch television.
Exactly.
They've got iPads. And even Justin, the amount of research he does about other things, he has specific things that he looks for, and these young people are an example to us on how to find out the truth, because they research in a different way than our generations. Anything from the sort of 60s through to the 80s was different. The 90s and the 2000s, the millennials do things in a completely different manner.
Yeah.
Somebody put a lovely thing up the other day as to why the children born in the 70s and 80s look younger than the ones born in the 90s and the 2000s, because they drank water out of a hose in the garden and played outside.
Exactly. Rolled in a good bit of manure.
Exactly.
And
You build
played
up your immune.
worms. Yeah, the girls rescued the worms, the boys tried to eat them.
Exactly.
That's how we grew up. You know, we spent the whole time trying to stop the boys killing all the insects. So, But no, it's so true. And I really think we're going back to that. I've never seen more people start their own vegetable gardens as I have this year. It's just brilliant.
Well, there's an awful lot of satisfaction, and we do it every day, where we eat the food that we've created at home. Rocket
Brilliant.
salad, tomatoes, and carrots, stuff like this, onions, peppers, chilies. Things
Amazing.
like this have a completely different taste.
Mhm.
And there's an old saying that if it's made with love, it tastes better anyway. So if you've made it yourself, it's that feeling that you've done it yourself. It's a great feeling, rather than just going into a shop and buying it and not knowing whether it's been sprayed with pesticides or whatever, and what chemicals are inside it. When you do it yourself, it's a great feeling. I remember the first time, just with strawberries coming up, and then learning that to stop them rotting, you needed the straw underneath them so they didn't rest on the earth, so they didn't go rotten. And just that love and care and stuff like that into growing your own foods, fruits and vegetables, etc., is very rewarding. And I recommend it to anybody.
Completely. And whether you're in a flat and you're growing things on the windowsill, there's some brilliant people spreading out with some great devices that anyone can grow anywhere now. I'm speaking to someone about that tomorrow. And I think the good old values, because what we've seen is, you know, they try to completely remove everyone from spirituality, from, you know, religion, because, you know, there are some churches that are an amazing support for the community. And also from their grandparents, from the family values, and from actually, you know, if all of us turned the television off and spent 2 hours preparing a meal in the evening, the world would be a lot better place. Because you're directing, as you say, you're creating something yourself with love and putting all that care and attention into it. So there's so many good things coming, aren't there? There really are.
There is. We're moving into a great time, and the journey has been bumpy.
Yes.
Anything in life worth having is worth fighting for.
Completely. I mean, no one would ever have children. No woman would ever have another child if it wasn't so miraculous at the end, you know. But as soon as, and I think this is what's going to happen, is once we get over this next stage, I'm not going to say final stage, because, you know, there's going to be so much to rebuild in such a different way. But it's so exciting. It has put a pause button on most people's lives, because even the ones that have been working the whole way through, it's been different. It's been completely different to the normal. So everyone, I don't think there's a single person that hasn't had a real pause and a real look at what they were doing before, what bits of it they liked, what bits they didn't like, what they want to do differently in the future. And you know, I am really excited, as you say, the different generations. My children are so much better at researching stuff. I've always done research because I love it. I love learning. But when I see the speed that they can do the research and the speed that I can, it's a completely different thing. So I'm really excited. I think the youngsters get a hard rap of it, but I think they're absolutely brilliant. They've just been directed, a lot of them, in the wrong direction. But that's going to be rectified now. And when it's rectified, it's so exciting what they're going to be able to create for us.
Sure. No, we're moving into a great area, and I think you and I would say to everyone, just remain calm.
Yeah.
Don't panic. There's a lot of chaos going on right now. But just keep calm, and the hard work is going on behind the scenes.
Very much.
Don't panic. Don't get stressed. The reality is, for most people, it's going to be a difficult few days and weeks, without a shadow of a doubt. For me, I'm very fortunate that I've got enough stuff at home that I could stay here for 2 or 3 weeks without any issue at all and not leave the house. I'm blessed in that side.
Yeah.
But it's
You've
also
created that, haven't you? You've created that, and you've worked really hard, Charlie, to create that. And I'm not taking away from other people who've got a lot less and have equally worked hard. But again, I think we need to, recognise that it's, again, that preparation, isn't it? As you said, you've worked bloody hard all your life. and you're reaping you're still working hard, but
Yeah,
you know,
we've only just started.
it's a choice. Yeah.
We've got
Yeah.
a long way to go, and I'm looking forward to the challenge. It's
Yeah.
exciting. My wife is loving the fact she's got me at home all the time, because
Exactly.
she used to worry to death when I was moving large amounts of money around the world. I used to get thrilled by it, and she used to be petrified of it. But yeah, it's almost like it's a calling.
Yeah.
This is what I want you to do, and keep up the good work. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to do, is to try and find out as much as I can for people that don't have the time to do it.
Yeah.
I respect the people that don't have the time to do it, because it's not easy, I can assure you.
Absolutely.
I'm up at 4 o'clock a lot of mornings, and I don't go to bed until midnight.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the evening I can see this eye starting to get sleepy, because I'm tired, but it's been worthwhile, and it still is worthwhile, and I'll continue to do the research and find out the truth for everybody that doesn't have the time.
Yeah, that's amazing, and thank God for people like you. Can I ask one final question? I've been Julian Assange. Have you got any information on why?
I haven't at this moment in time, but other than the fact that he was threatened by the Republican Party, there's an awful lot of people that are going to be very, very upset. But this is all about timing.
Yeah.
The end result we know. It's just a question of doing it at the right time.
Yeah. And just finally, I lied when I said one last question. The UK, obviously, anything else that you can tell us about what you've heard about what's happening in the UK, and approximate timescales of when we might stop seeing these?
The UK government, I was told, would be the last one to be collapsed. So we'll just sit back and wait. But this is the great awakening for the UK, to wake up people and say, is this the country that you wanted to live in, the way it's being run by the government? The way the government is treating you right now is not what you should be doing. And the way that they're destroying businesses, this is the deep state.
Oh, it's
The
terrible.
UK government, 95% of them are corrupt. They're in this to destroy you, to reduce the population, and to destroy your business, and give all the money to the super rich, like your Amazons, etc., etc., etc. If that's the world you want to live in, it's not the one I want to be in.
No.
I'm all for small business, entrepreneurs, etc., and not giving to the rich and stealing from the poor. That's not what I was. I work for the exact opposite of what the New World Order wanted to do, and they've tried to destroy small business. They've tried to destroy family. They've tried to destroy. Even I look in Spain. In Spain, 2 years ago, if you saw two Spaniards see each other, come together, kiss on both cheeks, hug, everything else, they're trying to destroy that. They're trying to destroy relationships.
Yeah.
Spanish people now try and avoid each other. I mean, this is all sick programming done by the deep state. And you want to live in that world? Good luck to you. It's not the world I want to live in. It's not the world I'm fighting for.
I had to have a vet come out the other night to my horse, and bear in mind we're outside in a stable, a really big, stable. He wouldn't let me in unless I put a mask on, and this is a vet. I said, talk me through your understanding of viruses then, and how to. I could not believe it. I was just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
And I got to, it's the rules. No,
Yeah.
you haven't got to. But this is what we're up against, and so I'm really excited that there's all these people that are going to help, like you, doing the research, helping people, just showing them that they do have a choice and that they need to start taking personal responsibility for that. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Don't worry, I'll continue fighting, I'll continue researching, and we'll get through it. Don't worry about it.
and have you started your second book yet or not?
No.
I bet you
No.
haven't. Well, it might be good to leave it for a few weeks because you're going to have, lots on your plate for the next few weeks, aren't you?
I am. The only thing I've started is I'm building a new office, because this one here, and when I'm doing my videos at 4 o'clock in the morning, the neighbours can hear. So
Yes.
Building a new office. So
Fantastic. That's really exciting.
new studio. Yeah, it will be exciting, but it won't stop me from doing what I'm here to do, and that's to find out the truth.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you, Catherine. Always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, it's lovely, and can't wait to see what the next month holds. It's going to be fun.
Excellent.
Have
Cheers
a good
now.
day. Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.